Welcome back to Coast Sports. The Jets and the Raiders making a big play at a couple of new receivers. The Jets and the Bills making a big play. The Jets and the Raiders made a trade. The Bills and the Browns made a trade. We'll start with the Jets, Raiders. Davante Adams is headed to New York for a third-round pick. Conditionally could become a second-round pick, but he'd have to be an all-pro, or the Jets make the ALCS and he stays healthy. Probably ALCS. The AFC Championship game. And he has to be healthy. I would say it's unlikely that the Bills get that far, and the Jets. It's unlikely that the Jets get that far. It's also unlikely that Davante Adams is an All-Pro. So most likely this is going to be a third-round pick. I like the trade. I don't think it's the biggest need on the Jets, but it is a need, and people are downplaying this in the media. They're saying that because the Jets have Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard, they didn't need Davante, and so it's just a pointless trade. I don't think it's pointless. I think A, it motivates Rodgers. I think B, it gives him another weapon, and their offense hasn't been amazing. Like, it's not like their offense has been this juggernaut. They need help offensively. And C, what we've seen a lot of with the Jets is chemistry issues. Rodgers doesn't want to wait to throw the football. He doesn't want to get sacked. He doesn't want to go down. He likes to throw the ball quickly and get it out. He likes to throw to his spot. And if the receiver's not at the spot, Rodgers isn't the type of quarterback who's going to make magic happen. He needs the receiver to be where he needs the receiver to be. And he threw Mike Williams under the bus the other day for not being in the right spot, not running the right route. Garrett Wilson, good, but I don't think he and Rodgers are in perfect chemistry right now. And Adams is going to be in the right spot. I mean, they know how to play with each other. They've played with each other for 8 years. They have the chemistry. They have the connection. They're going to thrive together, I think. And so he now has Lazard and Adams, both from Green Bay, as his top two pass catchers. Garrett Wilson, all of a sudden, is a number 3, which doesn't make any sense. He's talented as he's as talented as most number 1s, but he's a number 3. This helps their offense out. Now, looking at their schedule, I'm still not sure if this is going to be enough. Because if you look at that Jets schedule, it is pretty daunting. Steelers next. After that, they have a game against the Texans in a couple of weeks. The Cardinals have a good offense. The Colts have been decent. The Seattle Seahawks have been decent. Miami, by that time, with Tua. And the Bills again. I mean, they have more tough games, but this makes them more likely to reel off a bunch of wins late in the season. I haven't counted them out of the playoffs yet. And even when they lose to the Steelers, they'll be 2-5. I don't think I'm going to be able to completely count them out of the playoffs. Just because we've seen Rodgers and Davante make magic happen before. And Aaron's a good player. Aaron's a really good football player. We continue to see him show signs that he's still around, but he's been inconsistent, and a lot of it's been because receivers aren't in the right place. And that's what's been giving them a lot of dropped passes, missed throws, and it leads to these 3rd and longs when they just don't have a chance. So we'll see what Davante does, but I generally like the trade. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, without Davante Adams, they now their top receiver is Trey Tucker until Jacoby Myers is healthy. Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers, that's a pretty weak weapons room for Aiden O'Connell. I kind of feel bad for the kid that they're throwing him out there. Not that he's any good. But let's talk Buffalo. They traded for Amari Cooper. I love this move for them. I think Amari Cooper makes them a much better team offensively. Look, they traded away Stephon Diggs. They got rid of him. They thought we can win without a star receiver, and they were. They were 4-2. But I think they realized we need somebody out there who's going to catch some passes. Khalil Shakir, good player, not great. Keon Coleman still getting better. Curtis Samuel and Mac Hollins are fine, good maybe even, but they needed somebody. They needed a number 1. And I think the reason they got rid of Diggs is because Diggs can be a bit of a diva. Diggs can be a bit of a ball hog. He wants the targets. Amari Cooper is going to be a lot less dramatic about things like that. And Cooper clearly wanted out of Cleveland, and I'm glad that he gets to be out of there because Cleveland is a dumpster fire of a team right now. He's going to get a chance to win in the playoffs. But I think Buffalo looked at it and said, as good as Josh Allen is and as good as we've been, we need a big play weapon. Because Mahomes can make a big play happen with anyone. And Lamar can make a big play happen. Derrick Henry with Baltimore. The Texans, they can make a big play happen. CJ Stroud to Nico Collins or Tank Dell. And the Bills are looking around the AFC and saying, if we want to compete with those teams in the playoffs, we've already lost to the Bills and Texans. If we want to compete with those teams in the playoffs, we need a big play weapon that we can go to if we need 40 yards. You can trust a deep ball to Amari Cooper might get you those 40 yards. Deep ball to Keon Coleman, probably not going to get you 40 yards. So it's a smart move. It's a smart move. Getting better. They are improving. Remains to be seen how much this moves the bag for the Bills. But I think they're going to stack a bunch of wins. They have an easy schedule coming up. They're probably going to go into this game against Kansas City in Week 11. They're going to be 8-2. The Chiefs might be 8-1 at that point, maybe even undefeated 9-0. We'll see. But that's going to be a big game. It's going to be a good game, and that's going to be the real kind of measuring point for where the Bills are at this season. Obviously, losing to the Texans and Ravens is tough, but those are two of the better teams in the league. They were very close with the Texans. I don't view the Bills right now as a as a Super Bowl level team. I view them as a good team that's going to win their division and lose in the playoffs. That Chiefs game is what could potentially change that, but we have to wait and see.